Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Saratoga Racecourse here on Friday. It is August the 24th, 2018. I'm going to look at all the stakes races on today's program from Saratoga, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Also, join me tomorrow here on YouTube for my Travers Day preview video. I'm going to look at all the stakes races, so go check that out here on YouTube. It's going to be a great card. And also check out my York preview videos for today and tomorrow. Great racing there. You can make some money in the Ebor meeting at York, so go check those two videos out. But today's races from Saratoga, they're all for New York breds. It's kind of the Empire Showcase of Saratoga, so we have quite a few races to look at. The races are all the stakes races. Races 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. So races 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's get on to it. Starting off with the third race from the spa, it is the Albany Stakes, purse $250,000. It's for 3-year-olds here, New York breds. Field of 7 horses going to post a distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/8 on the Saratoga main track. 1,800, a mile and 1/8. And I show the diagram. It just gives me a second to look down at my notes. Just bear with me. My top selection here, I like the 2-horse Singapore Trader. Gonna go 2-1-4-7 in the superfecta. 2-1-4-7 super. Top selection 2-horse Singapore Trader. 3-year-old gelding by Flatter. John Velasquez gets the leg up for Todd Pletcher and Barry Schwartz, who owns this one. The horse's most recent outing came the 12th of August here at the spa. 7 furlongs off the turf and a maiden 40. This horse did everything right. Broke the maiden by 13 3/4 lengths. Sat back early in the small field, but, closed up well and just went away with a good victory. Something quite interesting with this horse. Tom Pletcher and Barry Schwartz both have 2 horses in this one, and I would guess John Velasquez is the first rider for Tom Pletcher. He chose this one over the 4-horse Spec, which I think, you have to look into those rider choices, and, I think that's going to be a good sign for this horse. I think he's going to really like the 2 turns on dirt. But before the Saratoga race, this horse ran the 20th of June at Belmont, 1 mile in the Widener and a main special weight 62,000. Horse finished 4th by 3 1/4 lengths. Didn't break all that well, was wide, but he did have a decent turn of foot at the end. And then before that, Belmont 6 furlongs on the inner and a main special weight 72,000. Horse finished 7th by 3 1/2 lengths. Was very wide and just didn't have the best of turn of foot. Longer distances should really help this one. Also, that race was his first start since August of 2017, where he ran here at Saratoga, mile 16th on Mellon in a main special weight 73,000. Horse finished 2nd by 4 lengths. If he wasn't so wide, he could have won, but he ran his heart out there. I like this horse a lot. First time on dirt, 2 turns, 10-1. I'll be all over him at post time. I would single this horse in the multi-race. So to recap my selections for the third from the spa, as my iPad craps out. The third race from the spot, it's the Albany Stakes. Top selection, going to go with the 2-horse Singapore Trader. Going to go 2-1-4-7 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 5. Race 5 from Saratoga, it's the Funny Side Stakes, purse $200,000. It's for 2-year-olds here, New York breds. Field of 7 horses going to post a distance of ground of 1,300 meters, or the distance of ground of 6 1/2 furlongs on the Saratoga main track. 1,300 meters, 6 1/2 furlongs. Top selection here, I like the number 7 horse here. The number 7 horse, La Forzia. Hopefully I said that right, pardon me if I didn't. I'm going to go 7-5-3-6 in the superfecta. 7-5-3-6 super. To a multi-race, I would go 7-5, but my top selection is 7 horse La Furza, whatever the hell the horse's name is. 2-year-old colt by Flatter here. John Velasquez and Todd Pletcher and Barry Schwartz again on this one. So I'm in the first 2 stakes races here on the card. This horse hasn't been seen since Rockville Center. That came at Belmont closing weekend. 6 furlongs, July the 14th. Horse won by 4 1/2 lengths there. A little bit wide, but, this horse closed up well from the back to pack. A very good run for this horse there. Second start ever. Before that at Belmont, 5 1/2 furlongs and a main special weight 62,000 for state breds. This horse won that day by 7 3/4 lengths and didn't have the best beginnings, but this horse just destroyed the field. Good race for this horse. He's had 2 very good runs. He's been training well here at Saratoga. And, I expect this horse to run a big one. 5-2, watch out for her, or him. I also expect the 5-horse Bankett to run a big one. 2-year-old colt by Central Banker. Ricardo Santana Jr. is on this one for Steve Asmussen. Both of those, trainer and jockey are having a great season so far at Saratoga. But, This horse's most recent outing came 27th of July here at the Spa. 5.5 furlong main special weight 75,000. First time facing facing Statebreds. This horse did everything right. Won by 6 3/4 lengths. Took off clear on the lead all throughout. Good victory there for this one. And then before that at Belmont, 5 furlong main special weight 75,000. Horse finished second by length. Didn't break all that well, but went straight to the lead after the break. And then, just kind of weakened out of it at the final 16th of the mile. The winner, Lexitonian, ran a hell of a race that day, but this horse was second best. But his last one was very good. He's been training well since the last one. I think he could run a big one also, so he'll be used on the multi-race ticket. So to recap my selections for the 5th from the spots, the Funny Side Stakes. Top selection, I'm going to go to the 7-horse La Forza. I'm going to go 7-5, 3-6 in the superfecta. I'll go 7-5 in my multi-race. So now let's get on to race number 7 from Saratoga. Race number 7 from Saratoga, it's the Seeking the Ante Stakes, purse $200,000. This race is for fillies 2-year-olds here, New York breds. Field of 8 horses going the distance of ground here of 1,300 meters, or the distance of ground of 6 1/2 furlongs on the Saratoga main track, 1,300, 6 1/2. And the weather looks, for this weekend, looks like it's going to be good, so we don't have to worry about the rain, which is becoming a theme of the Saratoga meeting. But you never know, the weather is very screwy sometimes. But for now, it looks good. We have 8 horses here going the 6 1/2 trip. My top selection, I'm going to go to the 7-horse She's Trouble. I'm going to go 7-3-1-4 in the superfecta, 7-3-1-4 super. Top selection, 7-horse She's Trouble. 2-year-old filly by Into the Mischief. I read her T's Juniors on this one for Linda Rice. This horse's most recent outing came the 3rd of August here at Saratoga. Sloppy sealed going. 6 furlongs in the main special weight 75,000. Horse broke the maiden by 5 lengths there. Finally broke well that day, and that was the horse's big difference from the previous starts. A little bit wide, but this horse just took off clear. Very good victory for this horse. Before that at Belmont, the sloppy sealed going. 6 furlongs July 15th in the Limbrook. Horse broke crappy, very shitty. Finished 4th by 3.5 lengths. The trouble for this horse was at the beginning, and that's why this horse lost. Just couldn't keep up with him at the end as the 3-1 favorite. And then before that at Belmont, 5.5 furlong main special weight 62,000. Horse finished 3rd by 7 1/4 lengths. Broke horribly again that day. Was way out of it by a bunch of lengths, but did make up a little bit of ground at the end. But I think they got the horse to break well, and I expect this horse to run a big one. 4-1. I'll take my chances. So to recap my selections for the 7th from the spots, the Seeking the Ante Stakes, I'm going to go with the 7-horse She's Trouble. I'm going to go 7-3-1-4 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 8 from Saratoga. Stepping to the lawn for race number 8 from Saratoga, it's the Yaddo Stakes, purse $150,000. It's for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, New York breds here. Field of 9 horses, and they're going the distance of ground of 1,700 meters, if you want to go by that, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16th on the inner turf course. 1,700, a mile 16th, inner turf. Top selection here, I'm going to go with a bit of a price here. I'm going to go with the 5-horse War Canoe. Going to go 5-7-3-8 in the superfecta, 5-7-3-8 super. Top selection of 5-horse War Canoe. 5-year-old mare by Lemon Drop Kid. Dylan Davis is on this one for Gary Contessa. This horse's most recent outing came the 21st of July here at Saratoga. Opening weekend, a mile and 1/8 on the Melon in the Grade 1 Diana. This horse finished 7th by 5.5 lengths. Was last most of the race and just had nothing, but that was, the Grade 1, the best of the best horses running there. The winner, Sister Charlie, actually won next start out, but this horse just wasn't keeping up with them. But her state-bred races have been a lot better run, races. Before that, against state-bred on the 29th of June at Belmont, 1 mile in the wide or an option 40 claimer. Horse won by a half length, sat back early, but had a great turn of foot at the end and got there. Good run for this horse. Before that, June 9th at Belmont, 1 mile against state-breds and allowance optional 40 claimer. The horse finished 3rd by 3.5 lengths, again from the back of the pack. Didn't break all that well, but had a great turn of foot to get 3rd. And then the Mount Vernon at Belmont, 1 mile, May the 26th. Horse finished 3rd by a half length at 38-1. Didn't break all that well, but closed up well. Good effort for this horse there. Major improvement off the start before it came on the slop at Belmont. Mile 16th, May the 16th. Horse finished 4th by 13 lengths. Was way out of it. Never got into the race. But I think this horse is going to run a big one here today. A lot of pace in this one, and I think the closer should really do well. It's been trading well. I'll take my chances with this one, so watch out. Another horse I would use on the multi-race ticket would be the number 7 horse here, 55, 8-5 here. Ship price, 4-year-old filly by Get Stormy. Javier Castellanos on this one for Chad Brown. This horse, ran at Belmont on closing weekend, 15th of July, 1 mile in the wider, an Ops Lady Claimer. This horse won by a neck there. Sat back early in a small field, but a little bit wide, but got there in the end. Good victory for this horse. Before that, in the Mount Vernon at Belmont, 1 mile, May the 28th. Horse finished second by a neck. That day, this horse just didn't break all that well. A little traffic trouble, just missed, but it wasn't the best of runs there. And then the Plenty of Grace at at Aqueduct, 1 mile on the outer turf course. Horse finished second by a length behind Uni, who won next start out. This horse was wide, but she did have a decent turn of foot. I think here at Saratoga, she should do well. Sitting, a closer here, but she's not a deep closer. She's a mid-pack closer, and I think she can run a big one. But the problem is she's 8-5. It's a crap price, I do know. But watch out for her again to run a big one. So to recap my selections for the 8th from the spot, it's the Yaddo Stakes. Going to go with the 5-horse War Canoe as a top selection. I'm going to go 5-7-3-8 in the superfecta. I'll go 5-7 in the multi-race. So now let's get on to race number 9. Race 9 from Saratoga, it's the Fleet Indian Stakes, purse $200,000. It's for fillies, 3-year-olds here. New York breds, field of 11 horses going to the post, the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/8 on the Saratoga main track. 1,800, a mile and 1/8. My top selection in this race, I'm going to go to the number 3 horse here, Split Time. Going to go 3-2-11-7 in the superfecta. 3-2-11-7 super. Top selection of 3 horse Split Time. 3-year-old filly by Take Charge Indy. Junior Alvarado's on this one for Linda Rice. The horse's most recent outing came the 21st of July at the Finger Lakes, mile 16th in the New York Oaks. This horse won by 2 lengths there. Sat back early. She had a little bit of a troubled trip, but she got there in the end and took off at the end. A good victory after that not so decent trip. Before that, Laurel 7 furlongs June the 16th in the Alma North Stakes. This horse won by 3/4 a length. Didn't break all that well, but closed up well from the back of the pack to get the victory. Took full advantage of that long stretch at Laurel. And then before that, Belmont 7 furlongs in the Bowery. This horse finished third by 3.5 lengths. A little bit wide, but she did get there in the end. But she did get beat by a little bit of a better horse, Midnight Disguise and English Soul. But I think her better, she's a router. She's not a sprinter, I don't think. And she, coming around 2 turns here for the second time, she should really do well. A lot of pace in this one, and she should really do well with that. And she has a good post draw. With these large fields at Saratoga going 2 turns, she won a low post draw. She has it, and I think she'll run a big one. So watch out for her. So to recap my selections for the 9th from the spots, the Fleet Indian Stakes, going to go with the 3-horse Split Time. Going to go 3-2-11-7 in the superfecta. In the multi-race, I would go 3-2. So now let's get on to race number 10. Race number 10 from Saratoga, it's the West Point Stakes presented by Trustco Bank. Purse $150,000. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards, New York breds. Field of 12 horses, but we do have a few main track onlys in this one. The 3 horses main track only, and the number 9 horse is a main track only. So 10 will go on the turf course here. The distance of ground of 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the inner turf course. 1,700, a mile 16th, inner turf course, rails at 0 feet. Top selection here, I'm going to go to the number 6 horse, the 6-horse Offering Plan. He's a single in the multi-race. Going to go 6-12-5-4 in the superfecta, 6-12-5-4 super, but my top selection is single, the 6-horse Offering Plan, 6-year-old horse by Spring at Last. Javier Castellanos on this one for Chad Brown. This horse's most recent appearance came the 14th of July at Belmont, 1 mile in the Widener in the Forbidden Apple Stakes. This horse finished third by 1/4 lengths. Didn't have the best of starts that day, but closed up well at the end. It wasn't a bad turn of foot. The winner, Voodoo Song, actually won next start here at Saratoga and ran quite well the last 2 races, Voodoo Song, but this horse just got beat by him. Before that, against State Breds at Belmont, 1 mile May 28th in the Kingston. This horse won by 1 3/4 lengths. Sat towards the back of the pack, but was very wide, but got there in the end. Good victory for this horse. And then in the lounge race at Keeneland, yielding ground, a mile 16th, April 8th. Horse won by a half length. Again, that's a sat towards the middle of the pack, but great turn of foot, and got there in the end. This horse is 6 for 2 on this turf course. Last race on this course came to West Point last summer, where this horse finished second by a half length, just nearly winning. Great turn of foot there. And then before that, this horse ran at Saratoga and the West Point of 2016, where this horse finished third by a neck, just nearly winning. But has been close the last 2 years. I think he'll finally get the victory here today. 6-5, crap price, I know, but he should really run a big one. So watch out for him. So to recap my selection for the 10th from the spots, the West Point Stakes, gonna go as a top selection, 6 horse offering plan. Gonna go 6-12, 5-4 in the superfecta, single the 6 horse in the multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and also join me tomorrow here on YouTube for my Saratoga Travers Day preview video. Good luck.